कभी आपको जब आप उनके साथ एसोसिएटेड थे आपको लगा था कि एक्चुअली जो NFT मार्केट प्लेस है ये अपने डाउनफॉल पे है और क्या बहुत जल्दी अचानक बंद हो सकती है? Were you prepared for a situation like that?
Yeah, I mean that's very like I feel very emotional about the whole Wazirx thing because that's where I sort of
You can pour out your emotions.
No, I mean that's where I sort of started. Like that's been like the first place where I sort of minted and they gave me a spotlight. I was the main artist who sort of started in that. So it sort of started I think in 1st June 2021 mein I think Wazirx had started. And I had minted on the same day. My first mint was on the first day, and I think it was sold in like 4 or 5 days. My first NFT was sort of sold. But that the whole thing about Wazirx, they started really well. I mean, the kind of artists they curated, it was very gated and very smaller thing where the quality of the work and the people, how they were building the whole community in the clubhouse and stuff like that was very interesting. It was very, so if you look at it, there is a huge community of Indian NFT artists which happened because of Wazirx. So they are the one who put a footstone, you know, like they're the one who created that marking stone for creating the Indian community. They were the people who started actually putting everyone together into Clubhouse and Twitter and stuff like that. So full credit to them for building that whole community, and then eventually like first 4 to 5 months they were doing really great, but then they started pivoting into commercial NFTs and stuff like that. Till one point it was still possible, then it went too much into commercial side of it, and then a lot of people in the communities were not really happy with the whole situation because they were not really taking the good position of either you're an art platform or you're an NFTs place. You know, initially they were trying to be very gated by making it more curated artist platform where high-end art was getting sold. The kind of sell which was happening on on Wazirx was very amazing. And the kind of art was selling was really good and very good quality work, very curated well. But then later the curation also became little lousy. It sort of became, they started onboarding a lot of random people, and then so I feel the downfall sort of started from there. So a lot of spotlight artists or a lot of people who are like a good artist who've been digital artists for quite some time, they started staying away from the whole, stopped minting on the whole scene. And then at one point I think in 2022 at some point people just stopped minting on it because they were not what they started building that community on Clubhouse and Twitter and stuff like that. They stopped all of that. All of those things started stopping. They stopped listening. They stopped taking feedbacks from the community itself. They stopped giving up. They were hardly interacting people on Twitter, and so that whole downfall, everything sort of started at that end. Then people stopped minting. People stopped buying. And then later at one point the last tweet was in 2022 in October, and then suddenly last week they just tweeted that we are shutting the whole NFT market down, and the whole market is sunsetted and stuff like that, and you can trade your NFTs on OpenSea because recently few months back OpenSea listed BNB tokens, which is since the Wazirx was listed on Binance chain, so they started showing that. So it was just out of random, and everyone was shocked. It just happened very randomly, and very sad to see that happen because the way they started and what they ended up being is very disheartening to see, especially the kind of I'm very grateful for that the limelight they gave us, the spotlight they gave us, and the stage they gave us to show my work, but sad to see that go. It's and there are a lot of, the way it was handled by the founders and by Wazirx was very not that great. It's not really something appreciated by the community. So yeah, people will remember it. Yeah.
तो आपको लगता है कहीं ना कहीं जो बाइनेंस और वजीरेक्स का फॉल आउट था वो भी इसकी वजह है, एंड कितना ज़्यादा अचानक कोई NFT मार्केट प्लेस बंद हो जाए, ये कितना ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट करता है इंडियन NFT मार्केट को?
आई मीन मुझे काफ़ी वो जो बाइनेंस और वजीरेक्स का जो फॉल आउट था वो काफ़ी मेरे हिसाब से आई थिंक वाज अ रीज़न दैट दे स्टॉप्ड giving efforts to the whole thing, and but again, all of those things happened. What we actually expected as a community, I'm not trying to, we expected them to come out clean. We expected them to come and talk to us because they are the one who built the whole community, but they are the one who actually absolutely abandoned us, or there's a word called rug pulled, right? They absolutely rug pulled.
लोग एक्चुअली यही कह रहे हैं कि रग पुल था ये, हालांकि निश्चल शेट्टी ने कहा कि ये रग पुल नहीं था. और
I mean they're saying that they maybe not commercial rug pull but emotional rug pull for sure. Because if they had come clean and spoken to us that what we should do, there is this thing happening, then we would have appreciated more, because there's a community which can take care of it. We would have built a DAO or whatever thing, and we would have taken care of things if they had spoken to us. But they absolutely kept us in dark and didn't tell us what is happening. They just absolutely abandoned the community, which was very disheartening to see. I mean, we expected them to talk to us and tell us, we wouldn't have said that, whatever, if, we would have been trying to save that because they built it, we built it together, everyone sort of built it together. If they had been very clean to us, then it would have been much more different scenario than what it is. But yeah, I mean, that's what I feel. It should have been much more communicated well rather than just keeping us in dark. So yeah.
चलिए कोई बात नहीं, एक NFT मार्केट प्लेस बंद हुई है, लेकिन हम एक नई अपॉर्चुनिटी की बात करते हैं जो कि बिटकॉइन NFTs.
Yeah, and one more before going into that, you were saying that if the platform gets shut, then what happens is the question.
How does it affect?
How does it affect? So, it ideally doesn't affect technically, but like I was saying before, since that was the first NFT market which was existed, largest NFT market is in India. So it got shut. Again, that was very centralized approach where we as an artist minted onto the contract of the that platform, right? So right now the whole NFTs were minted on the contract of the Wazirx. So they have the control of it. Whatever happens, they will be able to do it. But we don't have a control of it. So let's just say that if they decide to burn it, they can do whatever. So that they won't be able to. They can technically burn it because they have the control over it. But as an artist, if we had our own smart contract, then that wouldn't be possible. So I feel we should be careful as a creator in the NFT marketplace to have our own smart contract and use platform to list your NFTs, not to mint NFTs. So there is a difference between both. So that is one of the take I would take as an individual from the whole situation, learning from the whole situation, that never mint your NFTs on a platform.
Wallet.
Platform contract. And you create your own smart contract. Ask, see if that marketplace is allowing other outside smart contract to list. Then only do it. Otherwise, don't do it. That's the learning which I have took from the whole Wazirx scenario.
तो बात करते हैं बिटकॉइन NFTs की. तो जैसे बिटकॉइन पहली ब्लॉकचेन थी, लेकिन अब रिसेंटली जो है उन्होंने NFTs में भी इन्वॉल्वमेंट दिखाया, शुरू किया, ऑर्डिनल NFTs शुरू किए हैं, और बहुत अच्छा अट्रैक्शन भी उसको मिल रहा है. हर दिन जो है इनके इंस्क्रिप्शंस भी बढ़ रहे हैं. लेकिन इसके साथ ही बहुत से क्रिटिक्स ये कह रहे हैं कि बहुत स्लो है, सेंट्रलाइज्ड है, बहुत ज़्यादा ब्लॉक स्पेस ले रही है. हम आपसे जानना चाहेंगे एक्चुअली, अगर आप हमें एक्सप्लेन कर पाएँ थोड़ा बहुत कि ऑर्डिनल NFTs क्या है, ये बाकी NFT से कैसे अलग है और क्या प्रोज एंड कॉन्स है इसके.
आई मीन ये अभी जस्ट रिसेंटली चालू हुआ है, तो आई एम आई थिंक 10-15 days और समथिंग काफ़ी लोग इसके बारे में बात करने लगे. तो मैं भी I'm just trying to learn what exactly this whole thing is. But what I understand out of it is there is someone who have figured out a way to mint digital assets on a blockchain of BTC, where it wasn't possible. So there's this upgrade which has come into the BTC blockchain where people are minting it onto the whole, using something called Ordinals. People are saying the whole thing is into, the IPFS is not involved, and on Bitcoin is little interesting to see what people are going to look at it, especially because halving which happens on BTC, the new blocks are not going to get created after some time. So that ideally makes it very limited compared to Ethereum. So we need to see what people are looking at it. And also one more concern with Bitcoin is it's still on proof of work, and Ethereum and other blockchains such as Tezos and most of the NFT blockchains are on proof of stake right now. So it's little, and a lot of people are very energy consumption conscious right now in the NFT marketplace. So it's the time to wait and see what to do, what is going to happen with how people are going to look at it in terms of energy consumption, Bitcoin and stuff like that. So I'm just waiting and watching what's going to happen. I'm not really rushing to do it because that's like a big no in Web3. You need to understand what is happening and do it carefully. So I'm going to wait and watch to see what's exactly happening with the Ordinals and Bitcoin NFTs. Yeah.
तो नितांत, आपको ये लगता है कि जो ट्रेडिशनल आर्ट फॉर्म है उसे कहीं ना कहीं डिजिटल आर्ट फॉर्म रिप्लेस कर रहा है? अब जैसे धीरे धीरे सब कुछ मेटावर्स की तरफ जा रहा है, तो हम देख रहे हैं कि एग्जीबिशंस भी अब मेटावर्स में होंगी, म्यूजियम्स भी हम शायद मेटावर्स में देखेंगे. तो एज अ आर्टिस्ट आप इसको एज अ थ्रेट देखते हैं फॉर ट्रेडिशनल आर्ट फॉर्म, या आप इसको एज अ अपॉर्चुनिटी देखते हैं? और अगर मैं आपको ऑप्शन दूं टू बी इन द ट्रेडिशनल फॉर्म ऑफ आर्ट और टू चूज डिजिटल आर्ट फॉर्म और द डिजिटल स्पेस, क्या चूज करेंगे आप?
That's a very interesting question, but there is a lot of possibility of what can happen through smart contract and NFT and the whole idea of it. So I feel potential are limitless, but I'm very excited to see what can happen. But personally, I feel generative art or computational art will be the limelight of it, because I'm not being very on the side of computational art or a generative art because I'm of that form of an artist. But if you look at any other form of NFTs, art NFTs, there is no other art form which uses blockchain that well, like the possibility of what blockchain can do than the generative art. I mean, otherwise, if you're doing a digital artist, you're taking an image, uploading on IPFS, and then the artwork is basically a link which is attached to your token on the Ethereum or whichever blockchain you're doing. But if you're a generative artist, your code is on chain. So it's actually using the whole possibility of what blockchain can do, and it's utilizing the technology better than the other forms. I mean, I'm not sure if people are aware of what generative art ideally it does. To put it in short, it's how it's actually using the blockchain tech is, so as a generative artist, we don't actually make the final artwork. We make the code which we create a system which generates the artwork, and then that code is written such a way that it is supposed to take one cryptographic number. So that cryptographic number sort of comes from when someone clicks on a mint button whenever someone transacts on blockchain, it clicks on a mint button to buy that NFT. It will always generate a one cryptographic number, right? And then that code is written such a way that it takes that cryptographic number, triggers the value which you have written in the code, and generates a new output every time. So the buyer knows what kind of artwork he'll get, but not the exact artwork. And then it follows with a lot of rarity and stuff like that. So it's actually using the blockchain technology in a better format than the other format at current time. So I mean, personally, I feel that will shine more. And even if you look at the NFTs which are going into auctions and stuff like that, most of the time they're generative NFTs. So yeah, I mean, that's like I mean, little biased, but yeah.
Thank you, Nitant, हमसे बातचीत करने के लिए और अपना valuable time हमें देने के लिए.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah.
तो NFTs का फ्यूचर बहुत ब्राइट रहेगा, और अगर नितांत की माने तो जनरेटिव आर्ट NFT जो हैं वो उसकी जर्नी काफ़ी लंबी रहेगी। इस खास बातचीत में फ़िलहाल इतना ही। आपसे फिर होगी मुलाकात एक नए गेस्ट के साथ। टिल देन, दिस इज़ मी रुचि शर्मा साइनिंग ऑफ। डू लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब टू 3.TV एंड हैव अ ग्रेट डे।